Hey, what's up? It's Jason Lucchese and welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am so excited that you are here with us today. I've got a very special guest with us, Mr. Michael Bretthauer, aka The Myth, aka the Broncos hat wearer.
Hey, aka anything else you guys want to have fun with here on this show, because that's what we do. And I believe today Jason has a really exciting topic and a lot to talk about. So what are we talking about today?
Oh man, I'm drawing a blank of what we're going to be talking about. No, I'm sorry. What we're going to be talking about today is going virtual in your real estate wholesaling business. It is such an important thing, especially with everything that's going on today. People are wanting to do things in a much more virtual setting. So we're going to talk about some of the key things that you are going to need so that you could be doing this. And it doesn't matter where you are. We've had folks that have been hit in the hardest areas like New York, New Jersey, that are doing deals in other parts of the country, and they're not even going and looking at the properties. So Mike, we've got folks in our tax delinquent training program that are doing things from a wholesale standpoint. So why don't we kind of talk about some of the items, because we do a lot of things even before this whole thing hit, the pandemic. We've been doing things from a virtual standpoint with especially getting signatures done. Why don't we start from that point right there? So getting contracts to folks, and make sure you stay tuned to the very end. I've got some very important information I'm going to share with you. It's going to save you a few $100s. So don't miss out on that. We've got that coming up here in just a little bit. So Mike, why don't we kind of touch on here, what kind of services can we use as far as from a virtual standpoint for getting signatures taken care of?
Getting contracts signed, getting deals moved along, DocuSign. I think we've talked about it a couple different times. Real easy tool to use.
Yeah, and the other one that I would highly recommend, especially if you're working on a budget, is HelloSign. I believe they allow you to do quite a bit of your contracts signed until you actually have to start paying. So that could be a way that would help you out quite a bit. And it's a great way to get signatures taken care of from that standpoint. Now, moving on, that's just something that you guys can use right away, HelloSign or DocuSign. Next thing is a lot of people aren't possibly wanting you to come into their property. They're afraid of the whole coronavirus thing. And some folks, even if you're coming in a whole entire Breaking Bad suit, the full-on get up that you're in your plastic attire, some folks don't want you coming to their house that way. So the best thing to do at that particular standpoint is making sure that person has like a smartphone, and all you need to do at that point is use the smartphone, and you could do a FaceTime with that person, and they could turn their phone around and walk you through the property. And Mike, would that be something that would be acceptable for us? And also too, our buyers, especially our buyers that want to take a look at the property and whatnot, but we're obviously unable to because of everything that's going on right now. Is this something that we can do with our cash buyers?
It's enough to the point where you can lock up a cash buyer and they say, yeah, I really want this property, I'm in. They might want to take a closer look at a few things, but at that point it's just, logistical. It's just, they want to kick the tires and dot a few I's, but having them take a couple snaps or doing a video and just kind of recording it for them, making it easy, like just record it on your end, is absolutely enough.
Yeah, because you could record that FaceTime on your end as well. You just click if you have an iPhone, I don't know how it is for an Android, but you just do the drop-down menu and you record that screen as it's happening. And that would be a really great standpoint, because then the individual could take you through the rooms, could take you in the bedrooms, bathrooms, all that kind of stuff. And also the exterior too, because you want to check out key things like the foundation. You want to try and get close-ups of the roof. Things that normally cost a decent amount of money, you definitely want to get that stuff done.
Well, and look at it this way. I mean, you can just use them for the interior stuff. If they don't really, maybe they're elderly sometimes, they can't get around. Hey, is it all right? I can swing by. I can do a quick walk around the house. Would you be able to send me a few pictures of the inside? That way I don't have to come bother you inside. I'll look around the outside. You don't got to worry about that, but just a couple pictures, one of each room maybe.
Yeah, and that leads me to our next part here is, what if you personally can't go and take a look at the property? Best thing to do at that particular standpoint is pair up with another wholesaler that's potentially in that area, or a real estate agent that I would probably recommend here is somebody that's maybe not doing a whole lot of business. They're having a tough time right now and they're looking for additional work, extra work that they can do.
I've got probably one of the best recommendations for somebody you can reach out to as far as wanting to link up with somebody and work with them. And that's somebody who has invested into their education. I get questions all the time from our students like, hey, who's in our area? Is there somebody I can work with? I'd love to be boots on the ground for somebody, because some of our students, they're working virtually, working full-time jobs. And while others that they don't have a job, we have a lot of people recently. I mean, not just from who we're talking to, for people that have lost their job and stuff and they're losing their home to tax sale or whatever because of the pandemic and stuff that's been happening. But on the opposite side of that, people that are becoming real estate investors have lost their job and they're hungry. They're like, hey, I'll run around and do anything, but is there another student that's doing this same training? So it's not like they have to school each other up. It's just, hey, let's link up. And hey, if there's a house you want me to go take a look at, take pictures or whatever, let's partner up. We both know what we're doing and we both know how to approach this. So if you're not involved in a training program, then, find somebody who is and say, hey, you know what? I saw that you're a member of this. And I don't know. I'm a new investor here. I'm here in Indiana. I'm really looking to get my first deal done. If you needed somebody that wanted to be boots on the ground, maybe get pictures, I would love to do that for you. I would love to help out and get something going.
Yeah, because of the whole pandemic thing, one of the big things that I would recommend, especially with this, like we have somebody right now in our training program. I just made a post for them because they're still working a full-time job. They can't go and look at the properties. They can't go and do the negotiations with the individual. So I made a post for him. So he's looking for people in Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts, those 3 states. And he's looking for folks that could go and do those things, but he's also willing to put forth, hey, I'll do the marketing budget, I'll get the list, and I'll also help out from setting up closings, because essentially what he's wanting to do is he'll provide like the funds, he'll provide the systems, he'll provide all the websites, especially the websites that we do with our tax delinquent blueprint training. That's also going to be something that is included. And he's just looking for somebody that could do boots on the ground, somebody that's knowledgeable. And the main reason why we did that in our group is because after people go through our training and they're 100% ready to go, they know exactly what to look for. They know what to ask. They know how to field questions. They know how to give answers. They know how to solve problems, especially for people that are having an issue with tax delinquency. The other big thing is, you could easily find people in other Facebook groups that you could do business with. And also the big thing why I say real estate agents is because if they do have like some sort of a track record where they've been at a brokerage for, the last 3 to 5 years, that can prove to be a really great opportunity because they've been there, they've got some loyalty, you could trust them, and that would be a really great route to go through from that standpoint as well.
Yeah, you're right, Jason. And you probably heard us talk about this before, and I'll pop the link up for the 2-day blueprint. People ask us when they get started, because when we build out blueprints, we build out a blueprint for you and your business partner. And when we do that, whether they're part of your organization or not, we'll build out a blueprint for both of you. So Jason, when you're talking about when people come in and say, hey, you know what, I'll do all the marketing, I'll get the list, I just need somebody that'll be boots on the ground for me. We have individuals that do that in the blueprint, somebody that might not even be in the same country saying, hey, I know somebody, I'm going to put them through the training. That person that's going through the training is basically just boots on the ground. That their investment is 100% their time and energy. And you could be that person, or maybe you're the person on the other end, and you just need to find that individual as, hey, I've got a lot of time and energy. Maybe I lost my job, or maybe I hate my job and I want to quit. So I'm looking for something. But you find that individual, or you are that individual. Either way, you link up in Facebook groups. You can find people that are members of certain groups on LinkedIn and stuff that are training groups or whatever, and connect with them offline. Say, yeah, I saw you're a member of a couple of groups. Here's what I'm doing, just kind of link up together. But again, all virtually. None of these people, most of the time, you're not really going to get on the phone until it's like, hey, we've got a serious connection. I've got somebody I'm really going to work with. But up to that point, it's just sending out messages and doing all that stuff virtually, not even really seeing people.
No, absolutely. And the cool thing about being able to do that is it helps you be able to merge with another individual that has strong suits and you have strong suits, and you guys complement each other on the weaknesses of the individual. So one person might be strong at one thing and you might be not the best at it, and you guys complement each other. So that's a great start. I'm not saying, hey, go start a business entity or start a business with this person. I would just strictly have it as a JV agreement. on a deal by deal basis and do it that way, because you don't want to enter into a business relationship.
We're not even
right off the bat.
We're not even suggesting or telling you, hey, go find somebody and create a business together. We're saying, hey, from a virtual standpoint, if challenge in front of you is I cannot go look at the property like Jason and I were talking about. Hey, have them send you pictures again virtually. If you can't go do that walk around, find somebody that can, and then do JVs and partner on deal by deal until maybe if it's a consistent thing, fine, take it that route. But we're talking about starting a virtual wholesaling business. Once you're able to develop that relationship and make that connection with somebody, whether it's somebody you work with or whether it's an agent, so you can work together on, not just having somebody you can recommend for, hey, I've talked to somebody, they're not a real estate investment kind of deal, but they're more of they do need an agent's help. I need a good agent I can connect them with. And then vice versa. Agents talking to people, hey, I've got this person. It's an investor special, but I can't do anything with it. Maybe you want to reach out and give them a call, linking up with people for that very reason. Again, a virtual relationship. But again, we're just talking about creating relationships and linking up from a virtual standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. And, those documents, I'm going to talk about that here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and include those documents in this video. So if you need a JV agreement, we got you covered. If you need a purchase and sales agreement that you could upload it onto HelloSign or DocuSign, we've got you covered. If you need an assignment of contract, we've got you covered. It's going to all be in the description section below. And I'm going to also pin it as one of the first comments. So that's going to be taken care of right off the bat for you. You've got that. That's going to save you a few $100. And you're well taken care of from that standpoint. Just make sure that you have an attorney. Just review it, get it taken care of. Now, the other standpoint is working with your title company or an attorney if you're out of state. Best thing to do at that standpoint is I would try and find a referral from a real estate agent for a title company, somebody that's investor friendly. That's the most important thing. That's the key there. And if you are having a difficult time with it, 3 sources that I would recommend is you could go to Zillow and find some real estate agents that are in the area that you're wanting to do business. Have conversations with them, see if they would like to be doing business with you. Second is Facebook groups. Go to those specific Facebook groups in the areas that you're wanting to do business. So if that's, let's just say Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I know Milwaukee has Facebook groups, so that's why I brought it up. You could go to any area on Facebook and you could find like Phoenix real estate. That's going to be on there. You could go to LinkedIn as well. You could go to LinkedIn, put in the search bar, real estate agents. You could put realtor, and you could find those folks pretty easily. You could also find real estate wholesaler on there as well. You could find those folks, and just like you're watching this video on YouTube right now, you could go on to YouTube and find somebody. What I would recommend in the search feature is go to put we buy houses and then the city that you're wanting to find somebody in, and you could find somebody pretty easy from that standpoint. So that's some of the recommendations that we would have from being able to convert your business into doing more from a virtual aspect. Now, the one thing that we're going to probably have questions about from this video is how do we find the leads then? Well, at that standpoint, we've got plenty of other videos, and I'm going to go ahead and include some of those links below that you can use so that you could start finding those individuals for those leads, and you could start finding leads in the areas that you're wanting to do business from a virtual standpoint. Because I know some people, they do Facebook ads, they buy lists, they do direct mail, they do all that kind of stuff. Now, say for instance, you don't want to have somebody getting all of the profit, like 50-50. You don't want to do that. Let's just say you want to do like maybe a 60-40 or a 70-30 split. My next step from there is if you're not wanting to take those calls, maybe you still have a full 9-to-5 job, you could use a site called hostednumbers.com or a site called PatLive. And that's where they're going to take those inbound calls for you, because it's always critical, it's super important that you have somebody always answering the phone. It's that important. Don't ever let a call go to voicemail, because if you try calling them back, it's going to be very challenging to do so. I would highly recommend use like a service like Hosted Numbers or PatLive, and you'll be good to go from that standpoint. And you could, again, find a title company and all that type of stuff through the 3-4 sources that I gave to you, and find out what they would like to do as far as like closing and all that type of stuff. You're pretty much good to go, because you're not, especially if you're wholesaling. If you're wholesaling, you don't need to have any physical signatures on anything. I would just recommend setting your bank information from a wire standpoint, having those funds directly wired into your account. Mike, is there anything else that you wanted to share in this video that, would be helpful to some folks?
I just want to make some points out here that, hey, you don't always need all this stuff to get started. We talk about creating a virtual wholesaling business, and we talk about having title companies, reaching out to your attorney to check out contracts, or all this kind of stuff. And some folks watching these videos, they're not coming from that position where like, oh, I have an attorney. Let me just send this contract over to my attorney. I'll have him check it out, make sure it's good to go. Or yeah, I'll reach out to my title company, or, I'm in a place where I'm talking to a whole bunch of title companies. If you're not at that point, again, we talked about reaching out and connecting with other individuals that are, okay? And if you don't have a business entity set up and you don't know anything about a title company, you don't, have an agent or anything reach in place, you reach out to a group, you connect with somebody. Hey, you know what? I'm looking to get my first deal done. Are you currently working any deals? It looks like you've gotten a few things done here in the area. Any contracts you recommend? Hey, it's something that's currently working in the state. Maybe you use their contract, work with them in JV, just put together a JV agreement and close everything under their entity for that first deal, get paid out, and then use that money to create some of these tools. Maybe get a hosted number account or Pat Live if you're still working and not able to take the calls. But it's a progressional thing. So, again, when you're watching this video, just keep that in mind that, hey, you know what, some of these items, getting an attorney, that might not be the first thing on your list. The first thing on your list might be going into a group, connecting with somebody from a virtual standpoint, and just finding out, hey, I'm going to create a virtual real estate investing business. So the first thing I need to do is put it out there that, hey, I'm a real estate investor. Here's what I'm trying to do. And I'm going to start connecting with other real estate investors so I can start building up these tools.
No, that's awesome, Mike. Thank you for sharing that. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up, make sure you hit subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell. Also too, make sure you drop a comment below, especially if you enjoyed the free documents that we gave away on this video. Again, if you want those documents, we've got the JV agreement, we've got the assignment of contract, and the purchase and sales agreement. It's going to be in the description section below. And I'm going to also put it in the pinned section of this video. So go ahead, grab those. It's absolutely free. You don't have to put in your email address or anything. It's just you click and it downloads right to your computer. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed the free gifts that we gave you. Thank you for being a subscriber of our channel, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye now.